Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Weddle, Stephanie here, and just checking in with you today. If you are new to this channel, thank you for stopping by. Um, I am a full-time teacher, and I, like the rest of the United States, has been forced to shelter in place, and yeah, so school is going on at your house, and so I want to help you navigate through this process as easily as possible. So yesterday I went over some tips on how to make home learning less stressful and more successful at home. If you have not watched that video, I will link it above somewhere. So here in central Indiana, it is a rainy, gloomy day. I hope that you were able to get outside a little bit, get some fresh air, so that cabin fever doesn't set in. Um, Today's video, I am going to share with you 4 online resources that I use with my students. I assume if you are watching YouTube right now, you have access to internet at home, and so do your children. So instead of playing Fortnite, maybe they could use that resource to do some educational work. So I'm going to pop back and forth and use my screen share so that you can actually see the websites, and I will include a link of all these websites in the description down below. And so these are actual websites that I have used myself or am using in my classroom. So if you are one of my students right now, you should be working on these. Um, and they are just going to supplement anything that your teachers are doing in class and help your kids continue to build skills and kind of not have that slide back. We don't want that slide back from not being in the classroom for an extended period of time. We don't want to stop learning. So I am going to put you on hold and click over to my screen. Okay, I think I figured out how to screen record. I can hear an echo and it's bothering me, but I don't think you guys can hear an echo. So I am just going to pretend like it's the noisy, chit-chatty students in the background while I'm trying to teach, and roll on. So I have some online apps that I want to show you, some resources that you can use with your student during these home learning days. I know in Indiana, our governor just extended our home learning to May 1st, which can seem extremely daunting since it's not even April 1st yet. So we have about 40 days to go of being quarantined and doing this home learning thing. So as many resources as you can to kind of have in your toolbox, the better. So this video is going to be about online resources that I personally have used in my classroom. I will do another video on some other resources that different educators are putting out there. I'll kind of review them and then go from there. And I'll also do some non-computer things because we don't want the kids to have just like tons of screen time. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So I got my tabs up here at the top. So the first app website I'm going to show you is iExcel, and I do have an iExcel account that membership, well, I did, that I was paying for when I was tutoring. I'm no longer paying for it now because I'm not tutoring, and I don't use this in my classroom this school year. But I do know our math teachers do use it. So the reason I wanted to share this one with you is because it has English and math. Let's see, English and math activities. And so right now, for the families affected by school closures, check out iExcel's Resource Center with everything you need. They have this family learning hub. See, my membership expired in September because I wasn't using it. I probably have a free one through school, but I But I want to just show you that there's IXL um, math and ELA activities from pre-K all the way up to 12. So even if your student has, like, let's say, I have a first grader and she's mastered first grade math skills, she can go ahead and do the second grade ones. So just to keep them practicing. So they are offering 2 targeted skills per day. Um, so that's plenty of practice to keep your student busy. So that's the first one, IXL. You can pay for the subscription and have full access to the website. I can't remember how much it was. It wasn't that much, but that is a resource that you can do. Next is one that I do with my students in class. This is actually our bell work and how we start our day off. So I'm going to go ahead and log in with Google. So the reason I like Read Theory is because it gives the students individual passages based on their reading levels. So let me see. I should have logged in as a kid. Let's see. My students. I'm going to log in as a kid. So I'm going to log out because I can see the teacher. So I'm going to walk you guys through creating just a whole new account, and I'm going to be a student. So sign up, and then student, and then you're going to create a username and password. I'm just going to sign in with Google, which you can too, and I will use my regular Google login. And then I'm going to click student, and then sign up with Google. And then the first thing it's going to have me, hold on. It's been since August since I did this. Why does it look like that? I don't want to do that. It did me as a teacher again. Okay, let me try one more time. Let me try one more time to be a student. I'm going to go all the way out and go back in. I have these type of technical difficulties at school too in front of the kids. So, okay, here we go. So I'm going to be a student, and I'm just going to create a username, Stephanie. Stephanie. Okay, Stephanie, and my password. Oops, Stephanie's already taken. Of course it is. We're going to say Steph Wed. And then I don't use. So for my kids at school, I made everybody's password bear1234. And I don't have, I do have class codes, but for the purposes of this exercise, we're not going to have class code. Then I'm going to sign up. And so that is easy as that. And I'm going to save my password. So it says, let the learning begin. And you're going to read all that. And it's just going to start off giving me quizzes. So as I'm at 3rd grade level. So as I read and answer the questions correctly, my level is going to go up and down. And that's why I like this program, because I have students from every level, literally from 2nd grade all the way up to 12th grade, because of my newcomers that come into the country who are just learning English. They can work at their level, and my honors pre-AP students can work at their level. So I use this as bell work every day, and the kids are very accustomed to just logging on, reading their passages for the first 7 minutes of class. So you can have tremendous growth over the course of time by just reading a couple of these passages a day. And this really focuses on reading comprehension. And one of the things that I like about this is that you are going to see the grade level that your student is reading at, and their Lexile number for the passage. And you can kind of chart how that goes up and down as you progress in the program. And it's completely free, so that's awesome. Um, Another program that I do use in class is called No Red Ink, and it's at noredink.com. And I will include links to all of these in the comment section so that you can easily access them. Now, once again, this does have a paid version, but you can sign up for free. I've already got an account, so I'm going to log in with Google again. And this one should be a little easier to see student view. I think they have a student view. So this is from what the teacher view looks like are my classes. And oh, they have some remote learning with no red ink that you can also do. And if you want to learn more, you can click on that. I have not looked at that. But I like this on a regular day. So what I would do as the parent is I would go on and create a excuse me, a parent account and then add my students to my class, or just create a student account and give them things to do if you don't want to have two accounts. But let me see. So you can go to assignments or curriculum. Let's go to curriculum and decide if you want to do grammar, writing, their featured items. Let's see what's under featured. So practice, they're featuring right now using subject and object pronouns. Um, and writing, you can do quick writes in which you come up with it and assign it, and they have on the side the different forms of writing. I recommend kids do some type of writing while we're out, just because they tend to shy away from that anyway. And then there's grammar practice, all the topics. You can it's just tons of things to do for free. Like I said, there is a paid subscription, but I use this in my classroom. Here's ACT passages. I'm going to make my daughter do that. That you can just use for free, and there's tons of things that kids can work on. And if you want to see standards based, like I'm grade 7 through 9, but if you wanted to see 10 through 12 or K through 3, ACT, SAT, NWA stuff, AP language things, there's lots of different things that you could go in and play around and search. And once you find something, you just click on it. You click on the skills that you want, and then you can assign them. And down here, like, you can just assign them to yourself. And since I have classes set up, it would have me select which class I was going to assign it to, but you're going to have one student or maybe 4 students if you have a bunch of kids, 4 kids, but then you would assign it. I'm going to assign it to you now just to show you. And you can have a due date and then assign. It needs a name to go on the grade book. And then that assignment is assigned, and then I can go to my assignments. And then, of course, I'm showing this quickly, and you would have to get in here and mess around with it. But here's my assignment that I just created. And so you can see the answer key, you can make a copy, you can reset student scores. I think you can also, I think there's a way to see it, to practice it, maybe not. There's a way to, and to practice it. You have to add the practice too, and the growth test. So we're going to assign that too. and then we'll go to our assignments. So this is, I know this seems really hard as I'm clicking around and I'm not giving very much direction because this is unfortunately, well, fortunately, it's second nature to me and I do it all the time. So I'm not being a very good teacher here. So, but I learned this completely by playing around, and I'm no different than anybody else. So, oh, here, that's what I wanted to see begin. So you can see the lesson where it goes through the lesson and you can read the lesson. I'm going to exit preview. Oh, man. See, I make mistakes too. Like, I'm just clicking around. So you can see the lesson by going to preview, or you can see the practice and actually see what the questions are. Okay. And yeah, that's one of my favorite resources to do. We do a lesson a week in class. We start off on Monday with the diagnostic test. Then we spend the week practicing. I walk around on the diagnostic test. I do not help the students. It's just basically what they can do on their own. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we do a little bit of in-class practice. As the week, Tuesday, I do a whole mini lesson and some guided practice together. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, they practice on their own at their own pace. And then Friday, we have growth tests and just to check our progress to see how much we've grown. And then based on that, we either continue doing that skill or we move to a different skill. So that's one way to incorporate writing and grammar and all that good stuff into your home learning curriculum. The next one is readworks.org, and they also have home learning things. But I think this is free anyway. I'm pretty sure it's free. But you get to. I just got a text message. I was making sure I have students texting me, so I was making sure. So you can have select options like where it will read to you or whatever the article of the day is. Here's some other, human voice audio. So this is a really cool program. And so if you have a student that isn't reading on grade level, you can have an audio read. And it just has tons and tons of packages. So you can reading passages. So you can select by grade level, subject area. So for instance, I have a first grader and I want her to read about holidays and events. And so we're going to read about groundhogs. And so if I want her to read on her own, I can disable this. But if I wanted to read to her and she follow along.
Groundhogs are diggers.
So
groundhogs are furry animals. They like to eat grass.
Like, and if I, now, just like the no reading, you've got to kind of set up a class and all that and assign the assignments. And when you assign it, I'm going to pick specific students. These kids are from so long ago. I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to assign it to Maya. So, like, so I want, let's just say, like, because so you're in it, will walk you all through this when you decide to set it up. But I'm going to assign, I have my list of students here. I'm going to assign to Amaya the comprehension questions. She gets the audio support, the vocabulary words I want her to learn, and it's going to have you say select a due date and then assign. And then click OK. But also, if you don't want to like do all of that, you can also just print it and do the same thing, and it will generate a PDF and yeah, and print it for you. However, if you do it on the program, it will grade it for you. So that is awesome if you don't feel like having to read the passage yourself and come up with these answers for this first grade passage. Um, so that's readworks.org, another awesome resource for home learning activities. And then the last one I want to share with you is also another language arts one. So you can kind of bounce back and forth between these. Find out, I wouldn't recommend starting out that you use all of them. Kind of just figure out which one works best for you, which one that you like the best in your student, and go with it. I do love Read Theory. It is my favorite out of all of these, but I have used all these for various activities. So this is News ELA, and these are all nonfiction stories, I believe. Um, and here, and I just re-signed up for my account today. Um, every article is standards aligned and is published at 5 reading levels, so students see the level that's right for them automatically. So we're going to skip the intro. I logged in as a teacher. I'm going to skip syncing my class. I should have gone up through all this. English. Oh, tell us what you teach. Okay. And my lowest grade level is 8th grade. My highest grade level is 8th grade. And I'm going to save. So that just had me set up my profile for my students, which it will probably do something similar for parent. And they have a remote learning toolkit as well. And once again, you can go through the whole process of assigning stories and all that. So this has a lot of topics for all different age groups. I'm going to click on ELA. And like it said, every article is written at 5 different levels. And I'm going to try to... Oh, they do have novel studies now. That's new. I'm going to look at an elementary novel study we can learn together. So the yin and yang of basketball. Okay. The crossover by Kwame Alexander. Let's see. Oh, it's going to have me create the assignment. Select a class. I'm going to create a new class. So creating a new class, you can just say home learning, grade 8, subject, English language arts. Create class, as simple as that. And it's going to give your students a class code or a class link, which you could share with you could then use to set up your kids. And there's quick start instructions if you need to. Okay. So let's see. We're going to look at the crossover. Okay. So I'm going to assign it to home learning. And give me a second here. Okay. I like that. The idea and supporting details. Okay, so that's just something that I might want the kids to do while they're reading, just so that they're active while they're reading. And so I'm going to pick a story. I think. It's going to let me pick a story. Okay. And then, so this up here, it shows you the Lexile. So that is, oh gosh, I don't have my Lexile chart in front of me, but that's going to be like a high school Lexile. And so let's look at the max Lexile so you can see the text. So you can see the text here at the max as James Naismith tacked up a pair of peach baskets at either end of the school gym. He did not give much thought to how high. He simply nailed them at 10 feet above the ground, split the students into teams, gave them an old soccer ball, and told the boys to try to score points by getting the ball in the opposing team's basket. So that is the max reading level. Let's see what the lowest one. One day, Naismith hung two peach baskets. He put them on different sides of the school's gym. So you can see how the wording and details change for the different Lexiles. So that's one good tool. And you want your kid to read at the highest Lexile that they're comfortable with. So each story has different Lexiles, but it also has the activities, and they could take the quiz. And here's the questions over here. There's 4 questions, or you could have them write. And like I said, all of these programs are about the same as far as like the platform, but the best way is just to get in there and practice with them and find out which one you think is best for your student. One thing I do love about this is that if you have multiple kids on different grade levels, theoretically they could read the same story and read it together just at their own Lexile, and you could have a family discussion about it. So that is a benefit to News ELA. So those are the 5 virtual online apps, websites that I'm familiar with and that I've used pretty frequently in my own classroom instruction that might be helpful to you as you are doing your home learning, something to supplement. Just in my in my conversations with parents the last 4 days, some parents think that there's not enough work to keep their student busy, and some parents think there's too much. So it's hard to find a happy medium and please everybody. This is unprecedented territory for students as well as teachers. We were never trained to do this full time, and I'm sure parents certainly didn't expect that they would be in a situation where they were doing home learning unless you chose to homeschool. So here we all are trying to make the best of it, and I hope that I can help you in that process. So if you have learned anything or felt this video beneficial or helpful, I would appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I am going to be posting daily content while we are in this situation to be a support to parents. I would appreciate it if you would leave me a comment and tell me what kind of content would be helpful because I've never done this either. So I just have gotten feedback from my own personal parents of my students, but I would like to hear from the greater community as to what would be helpful moving forward these coming weeks. Until tomorrow, stay safe, sanitize, and don't stop learning. Goodbye.